So this brings me into my, I guess now my review, but it's gonna be like a co-review of everyone of the Suicide Squad. No, yeah, it's the Suicide Squad.
Is that the difference?
Yeah, the first one was Suicide Squad. This one's the Suicide Squad. And
it was better than the original one.
Sure, I will agree with that. I am not as high on this film as everyone else, it seems like, in the world. Like, I cannot believe at how much, like, Rotten Tomatoes and all this, like, it's up there. Like, yes, it's better than the first one. I don't know by how much, in my opinion. Like, I maybe this is because I was expecting so much from James Gunn and like everything he did with Guardians of the Galaxy and like Slither and just other movies I know of his that I love, like Super. And this is not one of those films for me. Like this, like when I think of James Gunn, like this is gonna be one of those films like, oh yeah, remember when he did that? Like no, this is like the bottom of the list.
Really?
Yeah. I'm okay. It's good. It's just not James Gunn good to me. Like all those other movies I listed off, I thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah, like this one's at the bottom. Like I was expecting so much from it. And the first segment, like I was like, yes, this is what I was expecting. And then it lost me after that. They started doing going back and doing like, oh, let me explain what happened the day before. And I hate that shit. That's what I've learned. So I was just thinking about like the Suicide Squad, and this is why or not Suicide, Pulp Fiction. This is why it's somewhat related, is that I've learned that I'm not a big fan of that, and I'm not a big fan of Quentin Tarantino. I'm not a big fan of Pulp Fiction. Like, I can agree, and I see why they're good, but I don't go out and seek them out. I don't want to watch or rewatch them because of this stupid. You got to see what's going on here, going back and forth, and all that.
So did you not like Game of Thrones? Because stuff was happening perpendicular or parallel to each other? It's like, hey, here's John's story. Okay, here's now that one guy's.
Yeah, but no, okay, that's not going back though. That's just happening at the same time, and they were just cut. They didn't say like, hey, go back a day, and this is what happened, or this is what happened 8 minutes ago.
Oh, they went back in Game of Thrones.
When? With
the little green people that stabbed the guy and then turned him to the ice lord.
But how they did that was a flashback on.
That's no flashback.
I'm taught. This is different.
Backsplaining.
This is saying like, this is what was happening at this time and blah blah blah, and just the way they had to edit together. And then I see what you're trying to say. You're saying like, there's no other way that they could have done that properly. Is that what you're trying to go with?
No.
Okay.
It's just a flashback, so I just didn't realize you hated flashbacks that much.
Some flashbacks are okay. But it was too much. Like that was like the gimmick in this. And like there was a whole segment with Harley Quinn and all her shit. And like it's like, I didn't need that. That didn't help the story at all.
Harley Quinn is like, she's the backbone of the Suicide Squad. And
not in this film.
No, they had to. She was the only character that actually kept it going. Because they couldn't afford Will Smith again.
Okay, but they didn't need her though. They did not. The Suicide. That's what's so great about the Suicide Squad.
That's like having the X-Men without Wolverine. You need them.
No, you do not.
Yes, you do.
I disagree. I disagree with that because they did X-Men First Class. And there's this little cameo from him.
But that's still, he's in there.
Yep.
Whatever. So
and the other X-Men movies without him sucked.
No, that's not true.
Name one.
Gambit.
Deadpool count?
No.
His face was in it.
That does not count. He's not actually in it. That's why I was like, I knew you were to go with that. But he's not actually physically in it. It's just his face. And they reference him. That's the whole point of it. That's why that's the gag of it. But he's not actually in it.
But his reference alone is enough to give you that presence of enjoyment.
But is there any other X-Men movie that doesn't have Wolverine in it, though?
The one after First Class.
Second Class?
See, I don't even
No, it's fucking Days of Future Past, man. He's totally in that. It's all based around him.
No, that's the third one after it.
No.
Apocalypse?
Yeah. And he's in
I haven't seen that.
Apocalypse. Is he in that?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyway, I didn't like it either. Doesn't matter. All I'm saying is that the Suicide Squad is what they did in the very beginning. We're like, all right, you just take all these people and they're expendable. That's the whole purpose of them.
They're comic book expendables.
Yes, and then they took this and they had to make it so like, no, this is a team that's almost not expendable, and you have to like them, and you can't really get rid of any of them. Like the real team, they still killed off some, which I applaud him for doing that.
In the first 10 minutes of the movie.
That's the stupid team. That's the expendable team. That's my point. They had a whole nother team that's not. And they even have to bring back one.
Was that Task Force X?
No. Task Force X is the thing that Deadpool does, right?
No, that's
Am I getting
X-Force.
confused on this? Oh, X-Force. Yeah, you're right.
Comics are books with pictures.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
They
It's
are all
confusing.
independent
Yeah,
parties.
maybe it is Task Force X. And the other one's just X-Force. Yeah, I think you're right of it. Or Ryan. You know, the next person next to Evan.
Yeah, the other Ryan.
I have a name.
But these things though like stood out to me. King Shark was dumb. I hated King Shark.
Really?
I really hated him.
He was the best character.
Oh, dude, that was just the stupidest character in my opinion. Like
It
I
was
was like,
Sylvester Stallone.
oh, yeah, that's fine. But his actual like arc and everything, I did not care about. He totally and that's how I felt about a lot of this. There were so many characters.
He was
in
the
this
Brute.
film.
He was the Thing. He was the Hulk.
I never felt he helped at all. He bit things and hung on to things, and that was it.
And he never
Dumb.
died.
And tried to. Yeah, so what? He could have died, and I would have been fine. Like I wanted him to die. I really thought he was gonna die. I was so happy about it.
That was the Thing, and that was a Hulk in the Avengers and Fantastic Four.
This is dumb.
You forgot. He
And-
learned about his hand.
Yeah,
That
good
was
for
it.
him.
See?
Good for him.
No, he was the one who brought them together because none of them were friends, and he was the guy who wanted the friends, and the rat bitch was like, "We're your friends." So he was the glue that held them together
No,
as friends.
he was just something to
Don't
show
you
that-
like Friends?
He was just something to show that.
Are we not
hey,
friends?
we need to be friends. Like that was like the whole like. I don't need a fucking shark to know that we're friends.
What, do you want a weasel?
No, that was awful. That was scary. The fact that, yeah, whatever. The funness of the first part, and my favorite part was probably Nathan Fillion, and his.
Where they were just like shooting his arms to take.
Yeah, and then he's off to the side, just dying, like like that part. Like again, like the first like 10 minutes of this film, I'm like, awesome, and I was just like, but that's it. And then it just totally turns to like, all right, no one's dying now.
I did feel that low point in that movie. You got this buildup of all these characters, and then they were gone.
Yeah, it was just a tease.
And then there was this long lull of like, okay, this is actually the movie, and this is where they're going. So
yeah,
it was a side mission in GTA 3.
It was
He doesn't know video games.
it was tricking me, and I don't like the tricking part.
You tricked me,
And-
James Gunn.
And the fact that you gotta go back and then you gotta explain everything, like again, like really, like seriously, I think they could have just went on it. But then I've read some things about why they did certain things and it was cut from the film, which like
Great.
I'm wondering if these things were not cut, if I would have liked it
Now
more.
we're getting the gun cut.
Maybe.
I like it.
Like so there's a part, okay. I don't think this is giving away anything because this all happens in 10 minutes. Just like why? So this team that was the expendable one, the Mr. Flag guy, the Sergeant Flag, the guy that was in the original one, that was supposed to be Captain Flag, that's like in control of all. He's on this team, and supposedly like there's a scene earlier on where he makes fun of like something that Waller's wearing, and that's why he's on this expendable team. That's why he almost died. So like that would have been like that's another like flashback. I'm like I probably would have laughed at that one and actually enjoyed it, but they left that out, and so there's just like certain parts like well this is dumb, and then I mean, there's still parts I really enjoyed, but overall I was pissed off through some of these things, and I thought it was boring because it never hit the level from the first one. And Starro as the fucking villain guy, I thought was dumb too. Starro, the fact that they took that thing down so quickly It's just like, well, that was a waste of a villain, in my opinion.
The giant star kaiju?
Yeah, that was the best part. And I was like, so all the good parts in this film were in the fucking trailers, and that's also why I was pissed off about it, because I saw the whole film and I knew exactly. Like I was telling my wife Danielle, I was like, this is what's gonna happen, and then it happened like a minute later. I was like, there you go.
So you're just a genius.
I guess. And so
Great
this
minds
movie
think alike.
isn't for geniuses. So
Well, then I'm a dumbass because I enjoyed this movie. I mean, this was just a good, fun action movie. Like, and the fact that it was actually rated R brought a lot to me.
Okay, those points that you just brought up, those are the positives. Like there's
Yes.
positives for this film.
Of
Like
course.
I did enjoy it. I thought everyone did a great job. I love besides King Shark, I liked the people that James Gunn picked for, like, you know, his main cast. I thought they all did a great job.
Really? You didn't like the shark?
I really hate the shark.
I didn't like the rat girl.
I like Rat Girl. Ratcatcher too. I like that. And
You didn't like the
Shark
shark?
wore pants.
no, and I
Oh,
also
that's
like
funny.
I honestly I think
The
that
shark is the prelude to our future Street Sharks movie.
I mean, besides that part, if he had rollerblades on, this would be a totally different conversation.
Lies.
If he had rollerblades, this movie would be an A+ movie.
Yeah. I mean, parts with Harley Quinn, like, I liked, but at the same time, like,
She got railed by a Spanish dude, and she shot him.
it wasn't necessary.
Because you never trust the Spaniard. Haven't you watched Princess Bride?
I have, and I know you long enough to know that, yes, you don't trust us.
That was just
Yes.
such a weird thing. Oh, there's other, like,
She overthrew the government with it.
unnecessary. It's dumb.
It was the whole point of it.
It did not help the story that much. Like, they totally could have took out that whole character and it would have been fine.
Peter,
Dude,
by her
Think about it.
overthrowing that government,
think
the
about
rebels came in and overtook, but
think
during
about
that
how
time,
that
they
already
were
could
still
have
in the hard
happened.
drive. And
They're already going after these people because they were doing some shit because they already overthrew. This is so much overthrowing the government so many different times that it was just like, I don't care anymore about it.
that's how I feel about
Like, yeah, was it
Afghanistan right
a
now.
little bit shocking? Was it shocking? It was like, yeah, and it made me laugh, but it not enough to, like, that was a waste of my time, in my opinion. That was a waste of my time.
Okay. This is a true test of our friendship right now.
Oh, God.
Which was better, Jungle Cruise or this?
Oh, still this.
Okay. Gotta cut these fucking microphones real quick and throw this table over.
No, like, absolutely. But these are the things that, like, this is why, like,
Do you think Warner Brothers basically said, make us our Guardians of the Galaxy and we'll give you free reign?
yes.
And James Gunn was like, okay, I'll do it for one fucking movie. And then Disney was stroking him off a little bit and was like, here, we'll go make 7
Yeah,
more.
I mean, dude, all this, like, got, I think, James Gunn back to Disney to finish Guardians of the Galaxy, which I do think that, well, him and doing the holiday special or whatever, like, I that was all necessary. I just,
So this was a necessary evil.
yeah, but I'm not saying it's like evil. I'm just, these are the things that really, really upset me. And I'm, again,
See, I liked Harley Quinn in this movie better than I did in
The
Birds of
Emancipation.
Prey.
Okay.
full title, please.
Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
See?
And then the original Suicide Squad, and then what else? That's it. She's
Wolf on Wall Street. She was in that.
and Wolf of Wall Street.
You know what this movie reminded me of?
Something you hate.
The Last Jedi, which I also did not. I like The Last Jedi,
Ooh,
but
interesting take on that.
it was so many pointless parts in this film
Salt.
that wasn't necessary, and it did not really help progress this movie forward.
Like the fucking horse scene.
Yes, totally unnecessary. That whole thing was unnecessary. Actually, I mean, if I really think about The Last Jedi, the whole film was kind of like, it never got us really anywhere. It just kind of set up some stuff for the
I
next
do
one. that
agree
they
with you,
went
like,
back
When
on.
the Suicide Squad was like, okay, we're gonna take on this giant kaiju ourselves, and then like, and then they're about to get their brains blown out, and then they just whack her over the head, and then they're free to do whatever they want.
Well,
Yeah, and she didn't retaliate. Like, I mean, like
she was
again,
knocked out.
Yeah, she,
well, no, they still had bombs in their heads. Like, I mean,
she didn't press the button.
She could have done that later. That's what I'm saying.
No, they locked her in a room.
If you're painting her as such a evil person who doesn't care, and the fact that there's a cut scene of putting Captain Flag into this team where like potentially he's gonna die. Actually, I mean everyone else died, is like that's awful. And the fact that they didn't do that, and that's another part I was reading about was, and I also agree, is like the people that were in that control room, like at first they're betting on all these people who's gonna die, and then all of a sudden they get a conscience at the end, like.
See, well, one thing, yeah, with that
No,
character,
they developed that because every single time they were like, "Wait, you're gonna kill his daughter?"
So that
and it
was
was
like
going. It was
some part. So any of those people, it's totally fine if they died, but like there's this, like I guess they had their limits, but like some of it was just a little bit like you really have to suspend your disbelief.
Okay.
And I get it; it's a superhero movie.
I'll tell you. I'll agree with you on this one. The first Suicide Squad, Waller was powerful. She built this team. She had all the control. She had the power. In this one, she had no power.
Mm-hmm.
She was basically a stand-in.
well, she lost it when she lost her temper because
Right.
she used to be cold and calculating, and then like
Okay, good point.
even with
Very good
like,
point.
hey, no, you're listening to me, and then you're not listening to me, bang. And then all of a sudden she's like, no, you need to listen to me. And if you're not listening to me, okay, I'm going to give you several warnings.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well,
That's the
wait,
part.
no, because her character completely just changed. And it's all like, no, you're not listening. Boom.
Yeah.
It's like, I told you. And that was much more intimidating than, oh, she just needs to yell a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that lost part of it.
Yeah. I just felt like that was kind of like you changed that character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I felt like that happened a lot throughout the film. Actually, like, I just felt like there was weird character development, and the whole thing with like Bloodsport and his daughter. Like, I also agree. Like, I think that's. I guess no one really said this, but I agree with myself. It's the fact that like I thought that was such a weird like dynamic, and that whole scene between him and his daughter. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed? Like, what am I getting from this? And then it turns into like I'm gonna like. You know what you said with Waters, like I'm gonna kill your daughter, and like, and then like, are you really gonna like the control room people? Are you really gonna do that? Would you really do that? And like, you know, like part of Waller is like you just don't know what she's capable of, and she kind of keeps that close to her vest to keep everyone guessing. And that didn't like that happened some parts, and then that part that you were talking about, like then it went away. I was like, well, now you're you're fucking it up a little bit, and like. Back to the whole like the daughter and father relationship, like that was such a weird dynamic. The whole point of that, in my opinion, was just to show that like she was like, oh, at the very end, like I do like my father. Like it's just, I don't know. I thought it could have used a little bit more fine tuning on that and bringing that together, and it just lost me. Again. There's some really great parts. Like some really like, and mostly it's the first half of the film, and then I thought once they kind of introduced Harley Quinn back in the film, that's when it kind of got shit to me. It's I don't know. It's just again I liked it.
You don't like Harley Quinn.
I don't like when things are just shoehorned in. I don't like when it's just like. It was kind of forced in the film, in my opinion, and I felt there was a lot of just forced shit into this film.
Harley Quinn, her entire comic book character has been shoehorned in.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
She was created in Batman the Animated Series to be a female counterpart to the Joker.
Yeah.
And they had to make her a comic book character to shoehorn her into this universe.
But it's not like, but again, it's not like.
And then that's how the Suicide Squad.
Though. She was a great addition to it.
They
it's not
forced her in the Suicide Squad.
So you're saying anytime they
develop her in the Bird of Prey?
Okay, yes, you're on my page with this.
Yeah.
But you're talking about just creating a character. That's fine but you're forcing her into situations that she probably shouldn't, that she doesn't need to be in. Like there was so much in this film, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and the fact that like I'm just gonna say this. Like, she's like separate for the suit from the squad for most of the movie. That's shoehorned into me. That was such a.
You know who was part of the squad?
King Shark, which is dumb.
The shark.
Like, if she was in there the whole time, it would have been way better in my opinion. But they had to take that and they had to give like.
Do you want to watch a scene of the shark getting fucked by a Spanish dude?
No, I don't want the shark in the movie at all. There's some parts that really, like, I did not like in this film, but there's also some parts I really enjoyed. Again,
big dumb friend.
It's a movie.
It's a movie, and
hey, you know what? There was no Batpod.
Yeah, that was a plus.
I do like the Mystery Machine bus. There were some good scenes in it. I mean,
again, yeah.
There's some good points where they were in the bar and they had to like get themselves.
I like the bar part.
Yeah, and even the tower with the big fish tank and the shark.
No.
And collapsing. And
didn't care.
See, they showed him dying, but they showed he's a shark and he can't die because he's a shark.
Sharks die. I don't know if you knew that.
They don't. Haven't you seen Deep Blue Sea?
Yeah, dude.
No, the sharks
live on.
They made new ones.
No, they did not.
No, they have babies. They make new ones. So, like, if they made a baby shark.
Oh my God, you broke it.
Oh my gosh, Peter just broke himself.
Seriously. Oh my God. You canceled yourself.
About time.
All right. So anyway,
Hello?
This movie is awesome.
Am I back now?
I highly recommend it.
This movie is fantastic. Go watch Suicide Squad. I don't know what the last 20 minutes were, but they were.
I knew, like, there's these, like, big, like, budget, like, blockbuster movies that I just go the opposite way because my expectations just so much higher and they didn't meet it. And I just,
you know why?
And I see all these issues with it, and
I know the exact reason why.
Why?
Because the opening scene did not say Marvel.
No.
It said DC.
If this happened to Marvel as well, like, I'd feel the same way. And like
this movie was made through Marvel, just PG-13 and through Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, just because you take a director and you do that does not mean that it's just made through Marvel. Like, I think James Gunn has this. I think
if you
James
just take
Gunn
the director and then you make it through Warner Brothers, it doesn't mean that DC made this. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy rated R. That's all this movie
But they already
is.
had the Suicide Squad. Like, yes, is that why they made the Suicide Squad? Yes. But it doesn't matter. Like, it's still, like, that's the best part about the Suicide Squad is that they're expendable. And, like, he had fun with that at the very beginning.
So are the Guardians.
The Guardians are not that expendable.
Watch the next one. The next one is not going to be the original crew. It's going to be Stallone and the rest of them.
That's a squad, though, and there's been lots of different members of that squad. Again, that's the biggest... You're missing the point, though, that they're not expendable in the Guardians of the Galaxy. They just go through different characters in a squad, just like the Avengers. The Avengers go through tons of different characters in the Avengers.
Okay, you're going to have to return to your corners. I'd like to say...
it's been fun watching you kind of go back and
exactly. Well, I'm like, oh God, if you guys won't let me talk, if I want to interject.
You just explained how they're expendable.
No, I did not.
The Avengers are expendable.
Avengers come and go. Not all of them die. The Suicide Squad, though,
spoiler alert.
Waller makes
Weasel
teams.
didn't die.
I didn't do it. but so that's the whole point. That's what's fun. Like, and James Gunn had fun with that in the very beginning.
Agreed.
And then I just feel like then he's like, no, it has to be like a solid team. Which that's the part. Like, no, like he had all his fun, and then it just turned into something weird.
I mean, that's the hard part is because you have to actually invest some time into these characters to actually make you care about these characters. The other ones,
I want to see Pete Davidson.
God no.
Yeah, I like
Michael Rooker.
Those parts,
no, yes, agree with that.
Again, that was so much fun. But sorry, what I was gonna say for me is the fact that they never topped that opening scene, and that's my issue with the film.
They blew their load too quick.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like they needed that to be about like half the film.
Yeah.
And then
Or that should have been like somewhere in the middle.
My problem is James Gunn set this up. He literally told us, I am going to kill every one of these suicide. I'm going to kill all of them right away.
Fine. I was
he
fine
straight
with
up
that.
said it in the press making this movie. He said, I will kill everyone. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And they gave me the rights to it.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
However, he didn't kill.
You have to have your A team that You
Well, just
like
wait
Evan
till the
said, like,
multiverse comes
Okay,
out,
well,
and then guess
that's
what? We're gonna have
Here's
a
the thing, though.
savant.
He did kill a very important character. I don't know if you want to say it, but he did.
I'm not
And
gonna say
it
it.
was very pivotal in the movie. And
At the same time, was it?
I mean, it. Yeah.
Kind
Really
of,
think
yeah.
about that, and then think about
Well-
the very end of the film, which is like totally negated pretty much everything that guy stood for.
That
Think
guy
about
didn't die though, dude.
No, wrong guy.
Well, that's like I'm. Yeah, never mind.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about it off air because I don't
I'm
want to
so
spoil
glad
it.
you guys are
but,
back.
yeah.
I've missed this.
I do. We're
This
gonna
is
argue
good.
about it because even
That's why I saved it.
when we were talking on the game night, like I was like, oh, like everyone's not gonna like my opinion, like, and I'm just blown away that so many people and I've seen articles that talk about some of my issues that I have with this, and yet they just overlook it. And I
See,
can't.
I'm not invested into comic book movies as much as you are, and I'm just like, hey,
No,
I'm
no,
along
no.
for the ride.
Okay.
Well, no, that's the thing is, I just wanted to watch an action movie. That's it. I'm not like picking apart like, oh, hey, this was unnecessary and everything. I'm like, okay, whatever. There's a story, and they're gonna tell me.
Yeah, and
That's it.
this again, this is part of my issue is that I think I come into a lot of films with a preconceived notion of what this film should be.
Then don't watch trailers.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That's
I
a
knew
very
you were
good
gonna say
point
that.
because this did give away a lot of the movie.
I still don't know because these parts that I didn't like weren't necessarily in the trailer, and it was going back and like, oh, see what's happening with this character, and like this is what's going on with this, and like there was again, like you say like that was important, but how I see it is like, no, you easily could have skipped that and it would not have affected the film in my opinion. And again, I'm going to totally relate this to Last Jedi because that was a pointless movie. I still enjoyed it, and I still enjoy this movie, but it was a pointless movie that really didn't go anywhere and didn't really send this franchise forward.
Well, technically, all movies are pointless because they're just entertainment.
Well,
I mean, do you really learn something from movies?
Right.
Yeah, remember when we used to have the "What did you learn?" segment? I like that
That's right.
segment.
What
You
did
didn't like
What
it.
did you learn?
I learned
this
that you
movie?
don't force shit.
No, I learned that friendship is important.
I learned that big dumb friend.
Don't eat your friends.
That's
Fine.
true. Don't eat your friends.
Whatever. I can just argue nonstop about this, but go
well,
see the Suicide Squad.
In conclusion, Peter loved it.
I liked it.
He
See?
loved.
Not love. Love is too high.
He says it's better than Captain America 1 through 3.
He
and
would have copped a
Guardians-
feel.
Be sure to visit bmoviesbeyond.com